Hi, good afternoon. Today we're going to be unlocking a locked out domain admin password in Windows Server 2008 R2. What I've done here is I've set up a domain controller in Hyper-V. It's just a virtualization technology. You could possibly have VMware or something similar, but all of the concepts and principles are generally the same. What we'll want to do first is locate boot media or image disk for the operating system we're trying to unlock, in this case Server 2008 R2. You can use an ISO, which you can mount through the virtualization host, Hyper-V, VMware, so forth, or put the boot media in the CD drive of the local host itself. But either way, we'll have to access that. So what I'm going to do here is first I'll demonstrate that we are unable to get into an account that we're calling backup.admin, and we'll enter the password that we think it is, and it tells us that that is not correct. So what we're going to do is make sure that we've mounted our boot media so that we can boot into the image disk itself. So what I'll do here is I'll go ahead and shut down this server. And then when we power it back on, so long as our ISO is mounted in our virtual drive here, or the disk is in the CD drive, and we have allowed the operating system to boot to it, it'll ask us to press any key to continue, so that's what we'll do. Now you should get that prompt to press any key. If you have not gotten that prompt, for some reason your boot media is not mounted or the OS is not recognizing it. So what we'll do here is we'll click Next. Now this is the typical launch screen that you would see. What we're actually going to do is click Repair Your Computer. What we want to do is make note of this location for the system drive. It could be C, in my case it's D. So any instructions that say use the C drive, what we're going to do is use this location here, whatever this says. So in this case, D. From here, we'll click Next and then open up a command prompt. And this is where we will execute our commands to unlock this account. So CD is change directory. I've changed it to D. In this instance, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and go one step further and get into the System32 folder. And from here, we're going to rename an executable called utilman, name it old, and then we, at the end, will rename it back when everything is said and done. You want to enter these commands exactly as shown. Obviously, if your system drive was identified as C, you want to use C instead of D, but in my case it is D. So what we've done here is we've renamed utilman.exe to .old, and then we are going to copy cmd.exe to utilman.exe. Again, exactly as shown. And that's all we need to do at this point. Next, we'll go ahead and shut down the server. Exit here, and then click Restart. We do not want to press any key here. We want to let it boot into the operating system as normal. And now what we'll do, instead of trying to log in, is we'll click this little ease of access button down here. This will actually bring up a command prompt for us, and this will allow us to execute the commands that we wish. There's a couple of options here. If you remember, we were not able to get into the backup.admin account, so what we'll type is netuser backup.admin, and then enter the password that we would like. In this case, we'll just pick a simple default. Ensuring this is the correct password, we'll hit enter. Command completed successfully. The other option here, of course, if you want to enable an account, let's say, for instance, our default administrator account is disabled, we can type netuser administrator and then active yes, hit enter, and that will re-enable your account. So what we'll do here is we'll type exit. Of course, we want to remember the password that we've set for backup.admin because that's the account we're trying to get into. Ensure that our user account is, in fact, backup.admin. And the password that we just entered in that command prompt. And then we'll hit enter. And we are in. Now, Server Manager and various other windows may pop up, but what we're actually looking for is Active Directory users and computers. And here we can see some of our admin accounts. What I would suggest perhaps is creating an additional admin account so that we ensure we're not logged out again. Let's say test.admin. And then it will ask us for a password. We can use the same default password. And then we'll select password never expires just for this purpose. Now the last thing we'll want to do, since this is an admin account, is ensure this is a member of the domain admins group, or we can just type administrators. And there we have it. So the last task, we need to reset everything back to the way we had it, so we can go ahead and reboot this again. Power back on. We will press any key here. We want to boot back into that command prompt space that we were at previously. Click Next here. Again, repair your computer. Again, making note of the location. Navigating to the System32 drive. And then the command that we will run is deleting utilman.exe and renaming our old utilman utilman.exe. And that's it. And we are back to the way we had it, except we've unlocked our domain admin password.